Well, good morning and welcome to another version of the 10-Minute Word. I'm Cedric LaFleur and I'm your official for this morning, and I'm excited to be here with you this morning. You know, this is this is part two of a 5-part series called Flip the Switch, Getting Things Done Quicker, Better, and Faster. Jesus, I pray for courage to flip the switch of my faith. I ask that you would bring your power to my midst and do mighty things in, around, and through me today. So I'm excited that you're here with me this morning for the 10-minute word. And I want to start off with a story, with a funny story that I heard about this country grandmother. And she'd go out on her front porch every morning and she'd thank the Lord for another day. Her neighbor didn't believe in God, and he'd shout back, "There's no such thing as the Lord." One day, he overheard her asking God to give her groceries for the week. Well, he snuck over the next morning and put some groceries on her front porch, and she got up and said, "Thank you, Lord. You did it again." Her neighbor laughed and laughed and laughed, and he shouted back at her, "God didn't do that. I brought those groceries there." She said, "Lord, thank you. You not only gave me groceries for the week, but you made the devil pay for it." See, folks, I want to talk with you about flipping the switch today. So last week I started off with Exodus 4:21, where I talked about when Moses finally agreed to fulfill his divine assignment. He heard some unsettling news. You know, God would harden Pharaoh's heart, and the plan worked out, but it didn't work out right away. Right now, I'm going to jump down to James today, and James is. We call him a leader of men. He's a brother of Jesus. If you go to James 2:24 and 26, here's what you're here talking about. See, if you were trying to find an apple tree, you would look for a tall, woody plant with a very sturdy trunk, beautiful foliage, green, and of course, apples, right? Certain kinds of trees produce certain kinds of fruits. It's like that with faith in God. See, James tells us that if we're looking for someone with saving faith, we should look for a person who voices belief in the works of Jesus Christ and whose actions back up his words. See, this is the governing principle of James' epistle, right? Which describes religion that is practical, that produces change, and that works. Transformational leadership is really what he's talking about. See, without those works, James tells us such a person's faith isn't genuine, right? See, now you're probably thinking, hey, this flipping the switch sounds pretty good, Cedric. It may sound great. I'd like to be productive, but can I? Isn't it limited to a certain type of person? Can only certain people flip the switch? Well, the answer to that is no. See, there's no single person who should be getting in the zone. There's no single person who can get in the flow. There's no single person who can just flip the switch. Everybody can do it. Of course, flipping your switch may look different from your neighbor. It may look different from mine, but it doesn't mean you're not as good. It doesn't mean that you can't do great things. See, the only caveat is that it takes practice. See, flipping the switch, although it sounds instant, it is not a quick thing. It's not like just turning on the light, right? It takes time to really get good, to get a good mojo going. It takes time to really get in the flow. So you may have a pivotal moment in your life, or you may have that light bulb moment every once in a while, right? And this is the type things that make you great, right? But you still need to understand that getting in the zone doesn't happen overnight. Again, remember I told you, we're not talking about microwave here. We're talking about oven type of mentality, oven mindset. So if you're not sure if you're up to the challenge, keep reading, keep listening, keep practicing, keep doing all the things that make people great. It's going to show you how to flip the switch. All of a sudden, you're going to learn how to flip the switch. See, other than that, anyone and everyone can put some grunt work in and get in the zone. See, James doesn't mind that our good works save us. Right? I mean, I'm saying James doesn't mean that our good works save us. He knew that there's nothing we could do or say to add to what Christ has already done on the cross. Rather, what he means is that we recognize genuine saving faith by the works it produces in the life of the believer. Now, why is this important? Why is flipping the switch important? See, if you're wondering why you need to adopt a flow state in the first place, a flip the switch state, that's perfectly reasonable. See, a lot of people trek through life and go through life without flipping their switch to get into the zone. And there's a lot of benefits to it. So I want to help you with that. See, up until this point, we tossed around the word productivity as a bonus to getting in the zone or working on your flow. Of course, productivity is a perk, but it's not the only reason to work on enhancing it, right? In fact, it's not even the main reason. Think of productivity as a side course to your entree. Think of productivity as the side course to your entree. See, the main reasons are the entree of flipping the switch is to get in the flow, which includes one, learning how to enjoy focusing on the present moment, honing in on one thing and becoming great at it. You don't have to be a jack of all trades, just honing in on one thing and being great at it. Right? Developing skills holistically, making contributions to humanity as a result of your efforts. Learn how to be intense about something that you care about. And finally, create meaning with your life by focusing on the right things at the right time. Oh, man, I love that one. Create meaning with your life by focusing on the right things at the right time. See, as a result of these things, you can build a life of improved focus and performance. Focus and performance. That's really what you want right there. You know, there was this passionate young man that approached a successful business leader with a question. He said, I come to you to get advice on success. Now, the business leader told the young man to meet him down at the river. And once he got there, he dunked him for 30 seconds under the water. And then he raised him up and he asked him, what do you want? He says, I want advice on success. So the business leader dunked him again, this time a little longer. Then he raised him up and he asked him, what do you want? And the young man replied, air. I want air. See, good, answered the business leader. Now, anytime that you want advice, as bad as you want air to breathe, then you should have it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, in other words. See, there's no substitute for passion. It is the fuel for your will. If you want anything badly enough, you can find the willpower to achieve it. So you may ask Cedric, how do I flip the switch? So now you understand that you should flip the switch. You understand why you should flip the switch. Now you need to understand, how do I flip the switch? You see, flip the switch means getting in the flow. And you may want to understand, how could you positively impact your life? It's time that you learn how to do it. As we mentioned before, flipping the switch doesn't happen instantly. Right? You have to have a defining moment where you can realize that you really need to be in the zone, that you are in the zone, that you're going to get in the zone. But it takes a mindset shift. It takes transformation to get you to that point. See, I'm going to walk you through some of the tried and true ways of finding your focus and getting in the flow that works for you. So I'm going to give you some examples, right? Think of riding a bicycle. right? You can learn several different approaches to riding that bicycle. You're going to test them all out, and eventually you're going to figure out what works best for you. See, that might not work best for me, but it works best for you. Then it's pretty easy to pick back up once you got it nailed down. But you just must realize that sometimes that limiting belief, sometimes that fear, sometimes that doubt will come creeping in your mind. It never goes away. No matter how good you get, that limiting belief creeps in your mind. That fear creeps in your mind. You just have to make up your mind that you're not going to quit. You just have to make up your mind that you're not going back. You decided to flip the switch and there's no turning back. It never goes away, folks. I'm just telling you, no matter how good you get, no matter how great you get, that little doubt will seep in. Right? That little seed of doubt is going to creep right in there. But you got to close your mind tightly against all defeat. Now, let's think about this. How are you going to get in the zone if you don't know where you're going? See, flipping the switch requires you to find which switch you want to flip in the first place. It requires you to decide which switch you want to flip. See, are you trying to get better at your job? Are you trying to hone in on a new craft such as writing? Or maybe it's hoping to get more focus on schoolwork, or maybe even learn a new language. Maybe it's you want to improve your financial situation, or maybe you want to start a new career, or you want to start a new business. You have to know what it is that you want to do in order to flip the switch. See, whatever it is that you're approaching, it's important that you set yourself up for success by outlining what it is that you want to approach. Now, this is an important part here. I need to make sure you get this, right? Before you begin, you got to think on some things. You got to think about where it is you want to go. What's your end point? Begin by picturing your ideal life over the next 5 years. It could be the next 3 years. It's okay. Let's say 3 to 5 years. All right. This isn't to give you an unrealistic expectation, but to really help you really figure out what you're aiming for. What's your goal? What's your end point? See, for some people, family and marriage is a top priority. For others, it's a career. For others, it's a new business. For others, it's reading. For others, it's writing a book. For others, it's all kind of other things. By envisioning your life over the next 5 years and pinpointing what you really want and what's truly important to you, you can figure out what you should start working on. You see, everybody's not going to start at the same point. You have to know where it is you want to go so that then you can start. See, here's the thing. It's pretty unlikely that over the next 5 years, you'll actually build a life identical to the one you're imagining right now. See, things change, people change, life changes, right? There are a lot of things that are out of your control. So don't get dismayed. See, that limiting doubt will come in, that limiting belief will come in. Don't get dismayed if you can't follow that plan precisely, or if the plan needs to change. Remember, we always say change the plan, but never the goal. You know, there was a mother that said to her daughter, stop asking so many questions. She said curiosity killed the cat. Well, the little girl was puzzled by that comment, so she asked her mother, well, what did the cat want to know? You see, questions don't hurt, folks. You have to ask yourself questions. You have to think into where it is you want to go and ask yourself why I want to do it, when do I want to get there, and how do I think I can do it? You have to keep asking yourself questions. See, strategic thinking is important. After you step through your big picture 5-year plan, it's important to narrow in on the finer details rather than think about where you want to live or what kind of house you want to build. And that part is important also, but you got to think about what are the type of skills you'd like to learn or interests you'd like to develop. See, of course, you can still think about your big plan and all the fun things associated with it. But to flip the switch, it's crucial that you dream up the things that you need to do or to learn that will make your dreams possible over the next 3 to 5 years. You understand what I'm saying? See, another way to figure out what you want to approach with your in the zone, in the flow mentality is to work on your passion projects on the side. See, it's easy to get stuck in the mundane routines of life. Now, watch this. Waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed, waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed, waking up, going to home. Going to work, coming home, going to bed, waking up, going to work, getting home and going to bed. See, that's the mundane. Everybody does that. But that's not a life of fulfillment and joy. So you got to get out of that rut. You see, you think you're just earning a living for your family, but no, you're in a rut. You can't just be waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed, waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed. That's just a rut. You got to carve out some time to pick up a passion project or two, something that you will do purely for fun. There doesn't have to be a benefit to it. See, it's common misconception that everything we do has to give us a tangible benefit. That's just a lie, folks. It's not true. You don't have to have that. When it comes to working, that's definitely true. Right? But we have to work. We work so that we can make money to survive and save and live a comfortable life. But we are all capable of doing other things that don't give us a direct benefit other than this joy and happiness. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to just be, like I said earlier, waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed, waking up, going to work, getting home, going to bed. You don't want that. So what you got to do is you got to find what it is that gives you pleasure, whether it is a carpentry, it's making a tutorial, it's piano lessons, or whatever it is. You have to find what that is. Now, let me tell you what mine is. And so I'm going to help. I want to give you some examples, right? And yours may be different from mine. Number one, I'm going to share three of them. Number one is helping someone else achieve a goal. I absolutely love helping people go to a higher level. I don't care if it's in a business. It could just be a hobby. It doesn't matter what it is. I like seeing people do certain things in their personal life, in their career. It could be a hobby. I just like the excitement that they get when they reach that goal. It just does something for me. I love the celebration. See, I know most people are not like that, right? See, most people get envious of a friend or colleague who achieves another level, who succeed at something. Not me. I get excited for that person. I genuinely love celebrating with that other person when they accomplish something. That's me. All right. My second one is I like watching TV from time to time. All right. When I decide to watch TV, then I can sit there and binge watch, and I'll just sit there. Right. But I'm not watching it all the time. I'm doing stuff. I'm productive. See, I can't just wake up, go to work, come home, go to watch TV, go to bed, wake up. No. It's not that type party, right? The third thing is I love riding my motorcycle. It gives me the time to think and to be free and not even worry about anything. I'm just out, me and the road and the wind. Absolutely love it. You have to find what that is for you. See, godly leaders challenge us to embrace a faith beyond mere mental accent. Right? See, more than emotionalism, more than words. They challenge us to examine our faith and determine if it is producing the kind of fruit that James talks about and told us that it should. Now, let me tell you what, folks, what you have to do in order to flip the switch, you have to be ready for this. See, your mind, you got to close your mind tightly against all negative forces, right? See, your mind will give you evidence or doubt. I told you it never goes away. Your mind is going to give you evidence. It's going to give you doubt. It's going to say things like you're going to get hurt emotionally. You're going to be upset when this happens. Your leader is not going to like this. Your customer is not going to want that product. My leaders is trying to hurt me. They're talking about me. That's what your mind is going to tell you. See, let me plant this self-judgment, doubt, limiting belief play devil's advocate. It's going to happen, folks. It just happens. You have to be ready to close your mind tightly. See, you don't have to do you don't have to have time to do all things all the time. You just have to have time to do the right things at the right time. See, your mind is going to get in the way. See, sometimes it's going to say that job is stopping me from doing the things I want to do. My family is going to suffer because I'm trying to do the things that I want to do. My husband or my wife is not going to be happy because I want to do the things that I want to do. That's too much work for too little benefit or too much effort. See, that's the lie that your mind is telling you. And you have to be willing to close your mind tightly against it. You have to be willing to not listen to it. I'm just telling you right now, type in the comments, it never goes away, folks, because it doesn't. Just type in the comments, it never goes away. Just type in the comments if you believe it. It never goes away. Let me see you type that. It never goes away. So your mind is going to tell you, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are that you can do that? You don't know what you're doing. Your mind is going to tell you, what will everyone think? Your mind is going to tell you, you're going to make a fool of yourself. Your mind is going to tell you, you don't know what you're doing. Your mind is going to tell you, stick to your comfort zone. Your mind is going to say, stick in your state of what you know. Your mind is going to tell you, don't get out there. You're going to get hurt. Your mind is going to tell you, you're not ready to run with the big dogs. Stay on the porch. Your mind is going to tell you, you're not good enough. You're not ready. You're not smart enough. You come from a low income. Your mind is going to tell you, you've been poor all your life. What makes you think you're going to be able to be rich? Your mind is going to tell you all of these crazy things, and you have to be willing to give that up and eliminate those things from your mind. See, when the pain becomes greater than the perceived reward, you will quit if you don't close your mind tightly against it, even if it's a mental pain and not reality. That's why you have to be willing to close your mind tightly against all these negative forces, because they're going to come at you, folks. The minute you start doing something good, your girlfriend is going to come tell you, girl, you need to stop that. What makes you think you can do it? Your guy pal, your bro code, your brother, your ace, all this stuff. He gonna come to you and say, dude, you crazy. You're not gonna be able to do that. That's too good for you. That's too big for you. You trying to reach too far. You gotta start small. Now they gonna tell you all of this foolishness. And you have to know that. See, 500 of the most successful business leaders said success was just one step beyond the point that defeat could have taken over them, but they refused to quit. See, you have to refuse to quit. See, a lot of people could have quit. J.P. Morgan could have quit. Old man Chase could have quit. Oprah Winfrey could have quit. Ray Kroc could have quit. Old boy with KFC could have quit. Colonel Sanders, he could have quit. You see, all of those people could have quit just when defeat was right there, because they got told, just like you, a lot of no's, a lot of failure gonna come your way. See, failure is the trickery with a keen sense of irony. It takes great delight in tripping you when success is almost in reach. See, when you begin to think and grow rich, you will observe that riches begin with a state of mind, with a definite sense of purpose, with little or no hard work. You should be interested in that state of mind. See, there's 6 factors of failure. Number 1, failure is not an option. I'm going to say that again. The 6 factors of failure. The number 1 is failure is not an option. Number 2, you control your success or failure. Nobody else does. Number 3, no doesn't mean no. It means keep trying in a different fashion. It means keep trying in a different manner. It means keep trying in a different way. It means that person needs more information. No doesn't mean no. Number 4, don't let defeat take over your mind. That could be right before success happens. Number 5, one sound idea is all one needs for success. You don't need to have 10 different ideas. All you need is one sound idea to have success. See, number 6, nothing is impossible unless you believe it is. Nothing is impossible unless you believe it is. See, success comes to those who are success conscious. Failure comes to those who indifferently allow themselves to become failure conscious. See, desire, meaning knowing what you want. See, I said earlier, you got to set your goal. You got to think about your 3 to 5 year plan. That's desire. You got to know what it is that you want. You got to know when you want to go. You got to know where it is you want to go, when you're going to get there, and how you're going to get there. You have to do it. Henley, the great poet, wrote, "You are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul." Now, what he should have added in there is, because you have the power to control our thoughts. You see what I'm saying? You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. He should have added in there, folks, because we have the power to control our thoughts. I need you to write it down, folks. It never goes away. That limiting belief, that self-doubt is always going to creep in. Trust me, folks. I'm sitting over here doing really, really well, but I have that limiting belief sometimes, that self-doubt. Maybe it's not going to work. And you know what I do? I close my mind tightly and said, no, you are a liar. I know that it's going to work. And let me tell you what, folks. Every now and then we all get that creep. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe they're not going to want it. It doesn't matter. I just closed my mind tightly against it, and I refuse to listen to it. But let me tell you what, folks, no matter how high you get, it's always going to creep in there. You're going to have some limiting belief. You're going to have some doubt. My family's not going to want me to do that. Who cares if they want you to do it? You have to want to do it. Sometimes you're going to say, my best friend, is not going to want me to do it. Who cares? My children are not want me to do that. Who cares? It's your dream. You have to go. Limiting beliefs, it never goes away. You must know that it never goes away. See, the inner voice of limiting belief, self-doubt will always be there. You must be prepared for it. When you get a great, when you want to get to a great achievement, you got to be ready to go for it. But let me tell you what, when you get to that great achievement, here it comes, that limiting belief. It's going to tell you you can't do it. See, you got to get a new good teacher. You got to get a new teacher. You got to get a new leader. You got to get somebody else that's going to help take you to a whole nother level. See, here comes that voice now all of a sudden. That's going to be too new. You earlier than the market is wanted. No. You're not too early yet, folks. You just right there, right at the cuffs of winning. You just got to keep going. You just got to help people believe and understand that they need your product. Don't give up. See, if Jesus Christ would have gave up, guess what would have happened to all of us? You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep going. You got to keep believing. You just have to know that it's coming for you. That limiting belief, that self-doubt is coming for you. The beautiful thing is you control it. See, you control that self-doubt. You control that limiting belief. You control the devil's advocate, the disbelief. In fact, you are the one that created it. You gave it power over you. You see, everything this inner judge said or does in our mind, you empowered it. When you let it in, you empowered it. What you have to do is, folks, you have to close your mind tightly against that limiting belief, that self-doubt, that judgment, that's ego-centered judgment that's going to come. You have to be willing to say, no, the devil is a lie. It's not going to stop me. You have to say, yes, I'm ready to go to a whole nother level. That's the same thing Jesus Christ did for us, folks. He said, I'm going to die on this cross. Forget what they're doing. Forget what they're saying. I'm going to die on this cross for the life of the rest of the world and your salvation. See, you have to be willing to do the exact same thing. You have to be willing to say, no, Father, forgive them. They know what not they do. You have to be willing to say, forgive them, Father. They know what not they say. You have to be willing to say, I am who I am. I am because you said I am. I'm ready because you said I'm ready. I am ready because you ordained it, and I'm ready to go to another level. You have to be willing to flip the switch in your own life. Nobody else can flip it for you. You just have to be willing to do it yourself. Thank you this morning for tuning in for another version of the 28-minute word. I'm sorry, but this series is just too good to limit it to 10 minutes, folks. And I'm glad for folks that were able to hang in with me. And I just want you to know, I want to bring the best for you in your life. And I want you to understand that Jesus Christ is here for you as well. All you have to do is, if you're ready to accept Jesus Christ in your life, you just have to say, I'm willing to flip the switch. All you have to say is, I'm willing to flip the switch. And he's already waiting for you. He already knows what you can do. He already knows what your life is supposed to be. He's just waiting on you to say, let me flip the switch. If you're ready to flip the switch, if you're ready to go to a whole nother level, just say flip the switch. Just type it in the comments. Flip the switch. Flip the switch. That's all you got to type in the comments. If you're ready to go to a whole nother level with Jesus Christ, he's just waiting on you to type it in. When you type it in, I'm telling you what's going to happen is it's going to be a change in your life. You have to be ready to flip the switch. And he's already waiting for you. See, he's been sitting there waiting all this time, waiting on you to say, I'm ready to flip the switch. See, if you're not ready to flip the switch, he's not going to flip it for you. He's just going to put the switch in front of you. And you have to be willing to flip it. See, that switch is that business you've been waiting on. That switch is that career that you've been waiting on. That switch is that school, that degree that you've been waiting on. That script is that relationship that you've been waiting for. That switch is that child that you've been praying that you could have. See, when you're ready to flip the switch, whatever it is, if it's riding a tricycle, he's ready. You just have to be willing to flip the switch and say, I'm ready to flip the switch. It all starts right here, folks. What I think is what I feel. What I feel is what I say. What I say is what I do. What I think is what I feel. What I feel is what I say. And what I say is what I do. See, when all of those things are in alignment, folks, you're ready to flip the switch and go to a whole nother level. You just have to be willing to flip the switch. So again, thank you for tuning in this morning. I hope that you have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. 10-Minute Word is a group designed to bring hope, inspiration, and motivation while delivering the word of Jesus Christ. See, we believe that he's our Lord and Savior. We believe that he died for our salvation. We believe that he is the ultimate leader. We believe because we believe. I'm going to see you next Sunday for another version of the 10-Minute Word. We're going to be on part 3, which is you got to decide on the right task in order to flip the switch. You see, I'm going to give you some tasks and you got to decide on the right one for you. You got to figure out how you do your best work. I'm going to help you understand the how you do your best work, when you do your best work, where you do your best work. Oh man, next week is going to be good. I ought to just started right now. I'm so excited, but I'm going to let you guys go. You have a good rest of your day. And if I can ever be of any assistance to you, you need help flipping a switch, just reach out to me. I'm always willing, always ready to help somebody flip the switch. No matter what your switch is, your switch doesn't have to be my switch. I'm just ready to help somebody go to another level in their life, in their personal life, in their career, in their relationship, in their social life, whatever it is. If you're ready to flip the switch, I'm right here. Thank you guys. And hey, go have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.